Now, Talk Real Estate with Sharon McNamara, sponsored by Boston Connect Real Estate Services.
Hi, I'm your host, Sharon McNamara, and you are listening to Talk Real Estate Roundtable. Let me share a little bit about my background before we get started. I am the broker-owner of Boston Connect Real Estate, a boutique firm that is home to over 30 real estate sales and marketing agents who service home buyers and home sellers throughout Boston, the South Shore, the South Coast, and Cape Cod. Our firm takes pride in assisting our clients in the next chapter of their lives by taking a holistic approach to their real estate endeavors. We believe that every move should be a moving experience. Every week, my co-host Melissa Wallace and I will provide you with my team's unique marketing approach to selling homes and share with you our expertise in navigating the home buying process. We value the experience of our agents at Boston Connect Real Estate so much that not only will you hear my perspective on real estate topics, occasionally you will hear the expert thoughts and opinions of our experienced agents at Boston Connect Real Estate. Be a part of our roundtable. If you have any questions during the show, please call 781-837-4900. We love to talk real estate. Follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and wherever you like to listen to podcasts at Talk Real Estate Roundtable. If you would like a one-on-one consultation with me and my team to discuss your real estate needs, you can connect with me at bostonconnect.com or 781-826-8000. Now, sit back, relax, take good notes, and let's talk real estate. And good morning to all my South Shore neighbors. This is Sharon McNamara. You are, of course, listening to Talk Real Estate Roundtable, and I have my sidekick here with me this morning. And good morning, Melissa.
Good morning.
It is frigid out there today, but it's nice and warm in here. I put the heat up yesterday. Yeah, keep it nice and toasty. And of course, we have the one and only Tim McKinney in the studio. Gives himself a big round of applause.
No, that's for you. That's for you. No. That's not for me. That's for you.
That was poor timing on my part.
Yeah. No. That's for you. The audience is still kind of waking up. You know, they're still dwelling on the stuff we got coming tomorrow.
Yeah, nobody wants to get out of bed. They want to stay in bed and be nice and cozy. Yeah. And I don't blame them.
No,
it is chilly out there.
And if you could boost your levels a little bit, that would be great.
Okay, perfect. You know what? I'm away from my microphone a little bit more.
Come on, Sharon.
Is that better?
Yes, thank you.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, that's why.
When you're way back here, we can't hear you.
I know. It reminds me of like a Muppet show or something. You know what I mean? Like that just sounded like Elmo. Like Elmo just that's what he sounded like to me. Like Elmo. There must have been an episode of Elmo I saw.
Okay.
There, but
yeah, or maybe Beaker. Me.
Yeah. Oh yeah, maybe. Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, lots of exciting stuff going on around here and around the country for sure. With that big, huge 2,800 square. No, I mean
2,000 miles.
2,000 mile storm. Yeah. I thought it was 2,800
square feet.
I didn't mean to talk about a house.
2,800 square feet, just the size of a house. Yeah, that'd be fine. Yeah.
So it's nothing. It's nothing. We'll just push that thing right out of the way. Yeah, my daughter is Mackenzie. As many of you have heard me talk in the past, she's in Texas, so she's right outside of Dallas. She's Plano, so Plano is to Texas as Pembroke, Marshfield is to Boston, right? So
it makes some good tackle boxes too.
Oh, really?
Plano. That's a brand. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. I don't know. Maybe it's from Texas. I don't know.
Maybe.
Yeah, anyway.
They have a lot of tech stuff there too, though. I mean.
Oh yeah.
Texas Instruments is huge.
Yes. Excellent calculators.
Calculators?
Yeah.
Well, I drove by there, and it's enormous. Like their campus is enormous, and I said to Mackenzie, clearly they make more than calculators these days.
Well, I'm sure it's enormous because those things were so expensive.
Yeah, I know. But she's there, and I've been checking in with her, the past few days, like, hey, are you prepared? Blah, blah, blah. She goes, I don't think it's going to be that bad. And I'm like, Mackenzie, just because you are from New England, you grew up in New England,
right.
It doesn't mean, like, you know what I mean, that they don't have the equipment, they don't have the resources.
Yeah, you have moved out of the winter educated area down to Texas. Not that they don't know, but they don't know as much.
Yeah, they don't really don't. And that's what I said. I was like, and just because you are familiar with driving in it, I don't think anybody is good on driving on ice. I think it's unpredictable when you're on ice. But just because you're familiar with it nobody there is. So the roads,
They're not treating the roads like we do.
And the roads are going to be a mess there. And the people who are not familiar with it, they're thinking they don't even know what black ice is. So there you go. I said, stay off the roads. And then for us, we're going to have all that snow, and we're going to have the Patriots heading to the Super Bowl in a couple weeks.
Yeah.
How do you like that for optimism?
Yeah.
I love it.
I'm all for it.
I'm all for it, too.
All
And you know
for
why?
it.
I really like Drake May. Is that his name? Yeah.
Yes.
Drake May.
I really like him. He's just like a baby. He's a little, and
He
he's
is like a little baby. I think he's like
23?
Yeah, something like that. He's a
24?
baby. I could be his mother.
Yeah.
That's how old I feel.
Oh, boy.
That's how old I feel now.
Yeah. So, I'm happy for him. He just seems like a really good kid with a good head on his shoulders, and I'm happy for all those guys. And, we're sending our best wishes right here.
Drake May is 23. He will be 24 August 30th.
Oh, the day after my anniversary. Yeah,
Look at that.
So I will always remember Drake May's birthday, especially if he wins the Super Bowl. And, here's my prediction. Not that I know a single solitary thing. Like, I think that there are 4 downs. Like, I think I can get that far, maybe. But I don't even know who's the other player that is up for sort of MVP. There's another quarterback that's young.
Yeah, I forget his name. Yeah, I know who you're talking about.
Yeah, I wish Ethan was listening right now.
If Ethan was listening.
If Ethan was listening right now, he would let me know. But it's when they're talking about the MVP, they keep on talking about Drake May and this other young quarterback, and it's like really close with their stats and everything. Well, I think it's going to end
there's
up
4 or 5 of them, but the finalists, which will be announced, the award will be presented next month, are Josh Allen, Trevor Lawrence, Drake May, Christian McCaffrey, and Matthew Stafford.
Okay, so who's still in it? Because I know that
Not Josh Allen.
And Trevor is out. He was Clemson. I don't know. Maybe we can get a caller that can call in. I know it's like a tight race between 2 of them. Call in 781-837-4900. It's our show. We can do whatever we want today. So, but that's my prediction. Whatever team that is going to be against the Patriots, because I think it's all about the drama of those 2.
I think it's Matthew Stafford.
Yeah, maybe. I don't know. I again, I'm lucky I got Drake May's name in there. So anyways, and if you have predictions, feel free to call in. And one of the things I was thinking about today is not a gambling thing. I'm not doing a gambling thing, but what I'm going to do is for all of my past clients, and I'm going to take their names and I'm going to do squares, and I'm going to just put their names in a square. And then when we draw the numbers, then I'll send everybody their information, I'll send them the numbers. And then for those winners, like, I'm going to buy gift certificates. I was thinking maybe doing like $100 Amazon cards for each one, but I don't know if that feels like gambling, but it's me, it's a gift.
Yeah. I don't know.
So it isn't like
the parameters are.
They don't have to give money, and they're not asking to be part of it. I'm just sort of saying this will be a fun thing for me to do with all my clients over the past years.
Yeah, that sounds like fun.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
So just something fun to do. So if I can't do the $100 Amazon card, maybe I'll do like gift cards to different restaurants or something.
Yeah.
So if you're a restaurant out there listening and you'd like to donate a gift card to me for my Super Bowl squares for my clients, feel free to call.
Then it really isn't gambling. It's just donating.
Yeah, it's a donation. Yeah, exactly.
So I just had to let in the lovely painters. Shout out to One Stop Painting and Renovating, keeping our station looking nice. And I asked one of them about who the other guy running for MVP, and he believes it is Matt Stafford.
Yeah.
Okay. And what team is that?
He's the Rams, right?
I
think he plays
Go
for
ask.
the Rams.
No, I don't need to. I got it on my phone. No,
This
Where's
is
the
literally,
paint?
this is
Matthew
literally
Stafford
why I
is
loved
with
him.
the Rams.
The
Yeah.
Rams.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So I think it's going to be the Patriots and the Rams.
Yeah.
I think it's
All
all
right.
about selling tickets and T-shirts and the whole 9. That's what I think.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't have any predictions other than
And
us.
then at the and it's almost like that will be the tiebreaker for who gets MVP. But I think that's already chosen. I think that's done. Mark, I think, told me it's already done by maybe like news reporters and like sports reporters and stuff are the ones that vote for that.
Oh, really?
I don't understand why they get to.
I don't know. Why can't we?
Shouldn't it be we the people?
Let's start a petition.
I'm feeling silly today.
Silly.
On my weight loss journey, I keep on telling Betty Weight Loss that I will give them a little shout out. They're down in Plymouth, and it's, again, I always feel like I'm going to say the wrong thing because they're not keto, but to me it feels keto-like, so no sugar, no carbs, blah, blah, blah. But down 14 pounds.
Yay.
Yeah.
You look great.
That deserves an applaud. Well, I keep on saying to you every so often, I was like, can you tell I lost weight? Well, like, say something.
It's harder in the wintertime because everyone's wearing sweaters and like, you're not wearing anything. Not that you wear skin tight clothes all the time, but
in the summer,
we're not on the boat, and I'm not seeing you
prancing around here in a bathing suit.
In the bathing suit.
Buy a house with Boston Connect Real Estate. We walk around in bikinis here.
Who knows? I mean, there might be a year where we might have to.
No, please, that is not going to get us more sales. I assure you of that. So,
hey, there's something for everyone.
Yep, there is. There really, truly is. Isn't that like what is that show? That channel?
What? It's like
OnlyFans or something. like they
have
not
a channel. It's
people,
a website.
It's a website. Oh, people like showing their feet and stuff.
Yeah, well, like feet finders.
They do more than show their feet.
They do more than show their
Anyways,
feet on that
not that
one,
I've been on there. I've heard these things.
Yeah, we're gonna go on there and we're gonna find that Tim has a channel.
Yeah,
I do not have a
does
channel.
anyone-
You can search as much as you want. You will not find me. Nope. Mm-mm.
We're looking for the channel of, do you prefer real estate agents?
Exactly. Do you want to listen to a radio show about real estate that they actually talk about real estate? So I'm sorry to be so silly, but I'm just in a very light and good mood, and I'm happy I can share that with all of you.
We're about to spend the next couple of days in our house. So.
I know. I might be getting a little agita about that. No, Mark is getting the wood ready and all that good stuff. So, and Tim, one last thought. And hey, this is for everybody out there. Melissa gave me a recipe for a dry rub for chicken wings last week, and I tried it.
It's changed lives.
It has changed. Mark ate, like, there were, I don't know how many wings, but like, I had 2, and I think he had like 12.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I know.
They're really good. I'm not a dry rub. I
am a dry rub.
Yeah, but I actually, I make it and then I dip it in like a sweet chili thing, and it's so good. But I found this recipe years ago, and everyone I've made them for, they love them. So I've been sharing it. I shared it with Sharon last week. She loved them. I shared them with a couple agents in the office
mine look
this week.
nice?
Yeah.
I did like the celery and the cucumber. The celery and the carrots.
Yeah.
With it.
Sometimes I get fancy for Ethan and make a charcuterie board and do the whole thing. But when it's just the two of us, I'm like,
Can you text Mark and tell him to get ranch dressing? I don't have my phone. I lost my phone. So
it's probably at the nail salon.
Yeah, I know. Probably. I got my nails done at 7 a.m. All right. Let's get back on track here. So you are listening to Talk Real Estate Roundtable. Sorry about that little interruption of just having a little fun. And hey, we're giddy about the Patriots being, contenders here for, what is it, the AFC Championship, and heading to the Super Bowl is my prediction. And I know nothing about any of that. So that's what I'm guessing. So there we go. So go Pats. We're so super excited for all of you. You make us proud here in New England. But today, our radio show, and as always, Melissa and I tend to take our show and make it about something that has gone on in the office, usually during the week. So sometimes she's all set, has an agenda, we're ready to go. Right now, we have 3 agendas in front of us.
We're so ready.
We are so ready for this
We're 20
topic.
minutes in and have talked about none of it.
The only thing I've said is the word real estate twice.
Yeah.
But, that's how we come up with our shows. And I thought that this was just a really good topic because I was talking to one of our agents this week with a situation that was going on with one of her properties. And so the situation is that and again, I'm not going to say who the agent is, only because, not that I don't want to give that person credibility. I just don't want to give very many details about the specifics of this situation and this transaction. So one of our agents has a listing, and it's under agreement, and the buyer's agent, which I think falls in place with what you and Kristen were talking about last week, maybe like having a buyer's agent and doing your due diligence. Like, we're actually getting very tired of it in the office. Like, I can see the frustration with our agents and just feeling like, what is it with these buyer's agents? So this buyer's agent on the other end has a full-time job.
Yes. I just learned this.
Period. Amen. Has a full-time job. So if you have a full-time job, you're not giving one of your jobs full attention. And real estate is not a job that you can do after 5 and only on weekends. It just isn't.
Well, it's interesting that you say this. So we've talked about Brian Buffini from Buffini and Company on this show before, and they do these, webinars and live, things all the time. And we were watching one this week, and one of the things that he said was, gave statistics, and they do the bold predictions with your second sort of husband.
My husband, Lawrence Young.
Young.
I love him. He's an economist, chief economist for the National Association of Realtors.
And we love him, and we love Brian Buffini. And something that Brian was talking about this week was, the amount of agents that are most likely going to leave the industry this year. And sometimes he can be very blunt, and he just said, if you're not going to give 100% commitment to your clients, get out of the industry now. And that means if you have another job, if you aren't fully committed to this, it's time to leave, because we need professionals.
And this is the thing, is I can't understand why an industry who works with people with so much money, their biggest investment, whether they're buying it or selling it, why the parameters to get into this industry are so low. It's so low. And I always say, one day Mara Healy is going to hear me on this show, or one of her people are going to, and they're going to invite her on with us.
Yeah, we have a connection.
We have a connection.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll tell you about it afterwards.
Okay, perfect. So, this is what I feel like. Make our industry, make our profession not so easy to get into. And then maybe we won't have some of the housing problems that we have and some of the issues that we have. First of all, the new law that Mara Healy put into place, where the seller can't choose an offer based on somebody having a home inspection. So now the seller doesn't know if a buyer is going to waive that home inspection or not. Guess what? Knock knock. The professionals in this industry, aka Boston Connect Real Estate, and all the agents that hang their license in this office, knew what the rules were from me. If your client tells you that they don't want to have a home inspection during that crazy time of I'll do anything to get this house, because they heard it from their cousin, or they heard it from their, best friend from middle school's cousin who has a friend that's a real estate agent and told them the best thing for them to do is to waive their home inspection. Guess what? We had a waiver for that before there was a waiver from the state that said, you're going to waive your home inspection, you have to sign this. This was not our idea. This was your idea. So the professionals would be able to control the industry a little bit better. So make the parameters to get into it higher and harder.
Yeah.
Just
I agree.
do that. And it's frustrating, because what I get frustrated, and you can feel it in my voice, is the reason why I get frustrated with it is because I feel bad for the consumer, that they don't know any better. They think it's just, what is the big deal? You just put a sign out on the front lawn and that's all you have to worry about. Or what's the big deal? You show me a couple houses, or better yet, what's the big deal? I'll just go to open houses, and when I want to put an offer in, I'll call you and you write it up. I'm telling you right now, if you're a buyer, really, really, really consider what the consequences of putting in an offer on a, let's just say, $500,000 house. Okay. And you're going with this agent because they're giving you a percentage back. If they're willing to give up their money that easy, I'm telling you right now, my friends, they're willing to give up your money that easy.
Yeah.
They are not going to negotiate hard for you. They are not going to be taking care of worrying about their fiduciary responsibility to you. They're just not.
And also, as a buyer, why are you working that hard?
Yeah.
You should, there are certain things that your buyer's agent should be doing for you. And And I think that is important, to rely on them and lean in on them to do that research and to find these properties and to get you into what?
Ginny's trying to change the subject.
Believe it or not, spring will arrive in 55 days.
Yeah. Okay, Ginny, we'll change the subject.
Thanks,
She's like
Ginny.
trying to get us back on track, ladies. Okay, I can hear her talking right now. Yeah.
I'm sure she'll be here soon. But
She will be here soon. She does her coffee and conversations here at the office every Saturday. So if you're thinking about buying or selling a home, or you just want to find out what's going on in the market and can't get to where you want to go until you know where you are, is my motto. So come in and sit down with Ginny in our conference room. It's nice and toasty in here today. And have a cup of coffee or a cup of tea and talk with her about real estate. All right, let's talk about the show.
Well,
no?
Back to your story. You didn't even finish with,
what was
with the domino effect that's going on with the whole reason why we're doing this show.
Oh yeah. So in this situation, the buyer's agent has another full-time job. So this person has been very difficult to get to during the day, when our agent is working and trying to figure things out. Well, we were supposed to close on it next week, right? She's supposed to have the
There's
closing.
already been one extension.
Yeah, so there's already been one extension, but the person who's buying the listing of our agent has a property to sell. Okay. And throughout the conversations, different things have been mentioned about the spouse being deceased. And she just found out this week that they don't have the license to sell.
Yeah. So that is a major thing.
She's not closing next week.
Yeah.
So now you have to go
this
through
week.
probate. And if we have any of our attorneys who listen to us weekly that, want to chime in on this, I know sometimes Mark Stiles is listening and he's good at this type of stuff too. But if any of our attorneys or any of the real estate attorneys that listen in, if you want to chime in on the importance of having these documents in place beforehand, please feel free to call us 781-837-4900, 781-837-4900.
So it needs to go through probate. So you're a listing agent. You're walking into that listing. You know that the spouse has passed away. What are some of the things that you're asking that seller to make sure that you can sell that property?
So if I know that the spouse has passed away, I always want to make sure that both of them were on the deed. How was this property deeded? So if anything happens to me, then my home automatically goes to Mark. If anything happens to Mark, the home automatically goes to me, right? So we don't have to worry in situations like that. However, if I'm pre-deceased of Mark and then something happens to Mark,
where does it go?
So
from
Casey
there?
and Mackenzie have to consider, okay, what are the next steps?
Yeah.
Is there a will in place? And then once that happens, once, both of us are deceased and they have the properties to sell, they'll have to, if it's in the will and it's already written out, this is why I do want to have an attorney on and they can talk about the logistics and the legalities of all of that. Then I know that there is a process. You still have to go through some type of a probate process, even with a will. But I don't think it's as complicated as it is when you don't have a will, right? So our wills clearly say that our properties will go to Casey and Mackenzie, right? So that's in place. So you still have to go to the court with the will and do, get all that. And then you get a license to sell, right? So now, but there are other situations when it's an estate sale too, is who is the executor, what they don't call it that anymore, who's the personal representative and all of those details, who has the authority to sign, is probate required? There's a lot of different questions that we have to ask when we get there. Now, I personally have a listing that's going to be coming on the market, which also was part of this radio show and prompted some of the questions that we're going to get into of what sellers have to think about and what what documents they have to have in place when they're selling, is, having a power of attorney. If it's not really an estate sale because somebody has deceased, but it is you're in place as the personal representative to take care of somebody's estate because they, don't have the ability to make the decisions, dementia and other illnesses and stuff, then you have to make sure that they have a power of attorney. Now, a power of attorney dies if the person dies.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So you have to make sure that all those other documents are still alive as well, that are still in place as well, if that person should decease in the middle of the whole process. But the power of attorney has other layers as well. This would be a good show. Can we write a note about this that we can reach out to Amy to join us on this one, or Emmanuel, or even Chris or Ben? One of them, you know what I mean? Someone who,
one of those names will join us.
Yeah. But the different layers of you have a power of attorney. What does that actually entail? Do you have the right to sign, sell properties and things like that, and their personal items. So
it's not just asking those questions at the initial meeting, it's also how we fill out our forms as well. So when we're doing the listing agreement, it's not just the names of the people that we've met with, it's maybe the name of the trust or the personal representatives or anything like that. Like we have to make sure that our verbiage is correct, because we never want to do anything wrong, obviously. So we always get confirmation from the person who contacted us and wants to sell the home, and from an attorney too. Yeah. We always say like, hey, can we send you these documents? You look it over and make sure that we're having the right verbiage for the listing agreement, for the purchase and sales, the offer, who's it going to, who's able to sign these documents. Yeah. So always want to get confirmation from an attorney. And if it's the attorney that worked on the paperwork initially, then that's great too.
Yeah. And too, a lot of times, people are like, oh, I have somebody in the family, or I have, a friend or something who is an attorney. They're going to take over. I always say, sometimes it's better, like, if you have a friend that's doing anything, whether it's a mover or anything in this industry, and a friend is doing you a favor, I'm telling you right now, they're never going to treat it like a job, so it's going to feel like a favor. So that's one of the things I feel after being in this industry for 24 years, is that I'm really, really fortunate that, I have the best of the best around me and surrounding me, not to make me look smarter. The only thing that makes me look smart about their knowledge is that I have the wherewithal to send them to them. You know what I mean? So the other thing too is I created last night when I was here working on the agenda a little bit more, I created a master seller preparation checklist. So I can put this together as a booklet for people. And as we're talking about the different sections of this, the show, there's different sections in here. So for this part, it's like truth, transparency, and liability basics. Be prepared to provide, confirm, or locate. And then I just have a checklist, a folder of key home documents. And I actually ordered this for myself just last week, and they have them on Amazon. And if you put in your search bar, when I die folder, and they have and then they have everything. Well, you can put all of that information in there, it will have a section for your will and your insurances and all of your statements, all your bank accounts, have all of that ready, because it is, we've talked about this before, when we talk about leave a legacy, not a burden. Definitely, that's what I'm going to be working on. That's one of my goals for first quarter, is to get that all in order. Any known issues you have addressed, repaired, or disclosed before, a list of improvements with approximate dates, roof, windows, heating, etc. Any documents that support claims you wanted marketed, blah, blah, blah. But as we go through each thing, there's a checklist of items. So if anybody does want to receive that, you can reach out to us. We have realestate@bostonconnect.com. So realestate@bostonconnect.com. Just send us, you'll be sending us an email, so you will have your email, but just send us all your contact information and we can send you out this checklist so you have it. So one of the other things, I'm going to skip over the first one because I'm going to sort of stick on where we are, and then we'll go back to number 2, but with the estates and the authority to sell. And the reason why that this is so important is if there isn't a personal representative, then that all has to go through probate. One of the situations that we've had in the past is the reason why you can't just go ahead and sell it, whether you think what your loved one's thoughts were, is if once it goes through probate, then they have to find other, heirs to the person. So they could complicate things. You could have you could have a brother that comes out of the woodwork that's like, hey, I know I've been estranged from, mom for 30 years, but I heard that she just passed away and I want a piece of the pudding.
Yeah, a piece of the pudding. I thought you were going to say cake. It's a little bit easier to slice up.
Oh, yeah. Let's say cake then. All right, we'll take it back. We'll just rewind to that, and I want a piece of the cake.
Piece of the cake.
Yeah, and that's generally, sometimes that does happen, right?
Mm-hmm.
Sometimes the other people will make it complicated. I had that situation in Quincy a few years ago, and I felt so bad for my client who had been taking care of her parents for years, and then out of nowhere comes siblings.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
I remember that one.
Yeah.
And there's also, I think, a situation that, it's tough because the responsibility is to give that opportunity for people to come forward, and to let everybody know that person had passed and the property is going on the market. And, I told this to you, around the time that your father had passed, is sometimes death does strange things to people.
Yeah.
And, sometimes you see the worst in others. And that's certainly something that we talk about and see during some of these life situations that we have with clients is, and we're also like therapists, so those things get shared with us of family things, and you know what, we're human, and we can feel sympathy and empathy for people, and these situations happen. But like I said, sometimes things like this can bring out the worst in people, and we just sort of have to put out the fires.
We could have a whole show on that whole topic there of what happened with me. But anyways, I won't get into that because it isn't worth my time. So, nor yours. But in regard to the estate sales, so like the point of talking about why you need these things and why to do these things sooner than later is because now, our agent is in a very fortunate situation because the property that she's selling is an investment property for her client.
Yes.
But if her client was selling that home to purchase another home, think of the snowball effect there.
Yeah.
Right? So she, in the end of the day, we like to see the glasses, 3/4 full. That at least is the benefit that she has on her side right now, is that her client can wait because it is an investment property, and not going on to something else. But, these things can hold things up. So that's why you want to make sure you have it in place.
Yeah. But even in that situation, it's an investment property, but we don't, what if something was going on in that seller's life where they needed that? There are life circumstances where all of a sudden you do need that money, or you do need to sell a property in order to sort of survive.
Well, and if he was doing an exchange, if he was selling this property to buy another property, it definitely could have caused a little controversy as well. But in this situation, it worked out okay. But that's why we're saying be prepared to sell. That's why you named it this, right? Be prepared to sell. Why having the right documents matter.
Yes. Do we want to get into a couple, some documents that we would need? I don't know. There's a lot going on over here.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, see, I put it together, so I'm sort of following along with my own thoughts. But
all right,
so some other things. Yeah, so let's just start with 2, and then we'll go with some other things. As a listing agent, and if you're thinking about selling your home, it's, documents that you need, but it's also conversations you need to have with your listing agent. And we will be asking these questions. For the most part, we always do ask the questions. So easements and right-of-ways. This is really important because there are many different types of easements, but easements are the legal rights that allow someone else limited use of part of your property. They can affect privacy, access, future improvements, and sometimes value. So we have another agent that was in the office this past week, and he's doing something at his own home, and he wants to add a garage onto his home, and there is a drainage easement that falls to the right of his house, to the right of this location. It's on his property, but it is an easement. So that easement is granted to the town in order for the drainage. Now, every subdivision has these. And generally it gives access to the town or the municipality to go in there and, if anything happens with the drainage, maybe they have to cut down vegetation or they have to do something like that to maintain it. It gives them gain access to this property at any time that they want, right? Yeah. So he was concerned about how close it was, where he wants to put the addition on, how close it was to this easement. And he did the right thing. He went to town hall. He's figuring it out with conservation. He's figuring out with the planning board, the building department, doing all of those things. But he knew about the easement. That's what's important. So when we come to somebody's home, and oddly, I had another past client, and I'll put them in the friend category, who reached out to me last week as well and asked me about, easement. And she's great. I mean, they're some of my favorite people. And she said, do you have an attorney that you could refer me to? And I gave her a couple of attorneys. And I said to her, chances are this is what the person who's using your property is going to say, but that's not true, and blah, blah, blah. So, but that's having an easement and giving somebody else access to your property. Now, my house has an electrical easement, but it's an old one. So one of our maps showed it. One of the maps didn't.
Oh, where is it?
Do you know where my pool is?
Yeah. So
my pool is sitting on it.
I'm just curious. Is it underground?
But there are no utilities there.
Yeah.
So it's an old one that was probably there for eons. And like I said, it showed up on one map, but it didn't show up on another map. So when we were doing things around the house, it wasn't on any of the maps.
Yeah.
So, our pool is sitting on it right now. But what that basically says is it's an electrical easement that gives the electrical companies, and that electrical company is no longer existent, access to go through our property for electrical wires and stuff. So it might have been future thinking, but we know that that's not going to happen behind our house because our house has a federal grant on it when they purchased the bogs. So nothing can happen there.
Yeah.
So,
so you're good.
Yeah. So we're good.
You're good.
So far, so good.
So far, so good.
Yeah. But easements, the other type of easements, utility, electric, gas, water, sewer. I had a listing in Duxbury one time. You had the high tension wires like that fell on her property, but it was, that the drainage easement. I just, explained that one of our agents had that. Access easement, I just mentioned that. Right of way, which is just you have the right of way, I guess.
Yeah.
I mean, that's pretty self-explanatory. Go ahead.
I also want to say, if you're purchasing in a development, there are certain requirements for easements for like fire trucks and emergency easements. So you might see, I would just remember this, over in Copperwood where we had this easement towards the back in the second phase, but that was for the town needed another access in order to get fire trucks and emergency vehicles and stuff like that. So everyone would always say, oh, is that another road? Is that another entrance? And we'd say, no, it's specifically for this. There won't be, people driving up and down it, all the time. But, and also there is, when it comes to sewer, just be aware if you are purchasing in a development that has like a communal sewer, or they have their own sewer system. So it's not connected to the whole town, but they have their own. So I'm thinking of Pine Hills, they have some verbiage in there when you're purchasing of, the Pine Hills and the company that takes care of that sewer, has the ability to come onto the property to maintain that if there was something that needs to be fixed, and things like that. So those are questions to ask. A lot of people, if you're coming from the city or coming from, a city or town that doesn't do, private septics or anything like that, is not familiar with anything like that, just, ask the question.
Yeah.
Or your buyer's agent should be.
Yeah, absolutely. And getting that information from Town Hall, they're really good about giving you that information and pulling out maps and stuff. I use Landglide, which is an app that it takes all of the, it takes the perimeters, the plots of all the land, and it shows a lot of things on there. So I really like that. One of the things that didn't fall on my agenda, but I was just thinking about, is like old cart paths. So there's a lot of those, especially in this area where there was, it used to be like a road, but, horse and buggies went on it, and then another road was made off of it. So just keep your eyes open for those types of things.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. What else is there? Drainage easement. We talked about that.
Yep.
Access. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So it looks like we hit upon all of those, the ones that I've heard of before. There's a couple on there that I've never heard of, but ease by necessity, to me, I think it's on here somewhere, but like maybe like a shared driveway, you know what I mean? So like where I am here, right in the center of town, there's a building behind me. They can't get to theirs without me. So if we were two separate lots, but we're more of a condo, they would have like a driveway easement, and that would be, an easement by necessity to get back there. So the other thing, again, if you have any questions about this topic or any other real estate topic, feel free to call us. Tim is in the studio, 781-837-4900, 781-837-4900. We'd love to hear from you, even if it's just to say hello. And if you think my prediction is right. So road access and municipality, HOA or association responsibilities. So this is a really important question as well. Is the road private? Is the road public? Is it like an unauthorized or unrecognized road? Those are all questions that we should be asking. It is a checkoff list for us in MLS to put that. And yes, it does matter, because if it's a public road, then the town would presumably plow it, maintain it, take care of it. But if it isn't, then who is taking care of that? Is there an HOA that's taking care of it? I think it's maybe Jenny getting her signs.
Yeah, seriously.
I know. So if it's a public road or a private road, those are questions that a real estate agent, and it's things that you should know, because there are some roads that I am aware of that actually the new listing I'm going to be getting over on Blueberry Lane. So again, I'm going to keep on announcing this one. I do have the listing agreement signed, but on this agenda today, we will get to the reason why it isn't live yet. But we're waiting until after the storm, basically. But there was another reason too. But that road is not a recognized road. It's really not even a private road, so it isn't like they have an HOA over there that people are taking care of it. But the town did put down some crushed gravel over there, crushed whatever. It's not really paved, but it's crushed something or other. So it's more of a road than a dirt road. But they did, and they plow it, but that's for safety purposes.
Well, I asked you that. So when I met you there for the photos, my first question to you was, who plows this? Is this a private or a public road? So, but yeah, it's definitely a question to ask. I don't know if it's on here for the shared driveways, if this is this section or not. But who maintains these, and knowing, because that's something that a buyer is definitely going to ask.
And I don't know if my shared driveway one might have dropped off on this last agenda I did. It should be in there, but we can talk about that, because that is really important. And there was a little bit about what we were talking about and this topic here. So it's a really good point, is who's going to plow it, who's going to shovel it, who's going to maintain it if something goes wrong with it. And, and this is the thing, when you have a shared driveway, it's about being neighborly. Do I think that maybe I don't think it decreases the value of your house, but it definitely has a little bit of a stigma to it when it comes to the marketing of it, because people are like, well, what if I have a fight with my neighbor? Like, what's going to happen? So here's the thing, stay friendly and stay neighborly, and that shouldn't happen. But maybe it's something, I think if I was in a situation where I had a shared driveway, I would say, all right, why don't we just agree that every year we're going to put, $100, $200, whatever we can afford, depending on the other person. We'll put $500, $1,000 a year into an account, and we'll just have that, just pile, we'll just have that as a savings account. And then when the time comes that it has to be repaved, we have the money to do that. So sort of forming your own sort of association. There would have to be some legalities to that too, like what happens if I move. But if you move, just leave the money there. That would be a great way to overcome the stigma.
Yeah. Well, I asked you that too of your new listing coming on. I said, "Oh, is this a shared driveway?" Just because of the placement. To me, it looked like a shared driveway because, and there was two cars parked in it. And so I was like, "Ooh, do I park behind one of these? Do I park next to it?" Yeah. So, and it's not a shared driveway. It's just the placement of where it is. So, again, that's probably a question you'll be asked when you do your open house is if it's a shared driveway.
Yep. And it's a big driveway, so it's it's a good opportunity there. Again, it's right on Stetson Pond in Pembroke. Yeah. It's a beautiful house. It's going on the market for $529. Just so, I don't know if I even told you about that price.
Yes, you did.
Yep. So it's going on for $529, and it's a 2-bedroom right on Stetson Pond. It's such a beautiful view. Mark and I walked over there the other day because it's sort of in my backyard, and I walked over there I like to check on things, and it's gorgeous. So if you're looking for a year-round property or if you're looking for a cottage, this is perfect because Stetson Pond in Pembroke is a fully recreational pond.
Yes, it's going to be a great one.
Yeah. So, and why it matters when it comes to the road, buyers, lenders, and insurance carriers care about access, maintenance responsibilities, and winter plowing. So we sort of hit upon that too. One of the things in here that I'm going to sort of skip to the section. Hold on, let me find it.
I'm just going to sing for everybody.
Vacant properties.
Vacant properties.
So we're going to switch over to number 9 for a minute. Yeah, because we would have never got to that with 7 minutes left. So in regard to vacant properties, this is really, really a difficult one. So this is part of the reason for true transparency. What ended up happening is my client is helping sell her father's property. And he is in a nursing home right now. And as she was going through some of the paperwork, it was brought to her attention something about the insurance. So that's what we've been trying to figure out is, making sure getting the correct insurance in place for this property being vacant. And it's extremely expensive to have a vacant policy, vacant property policy on that. So I just didn't feel comfortable us having, people going through the home. I mean, you and we had the photographer over there and stuff, of course, but I just didn't feel comfortable having open houses and having showings, and just the way the weather's been, it was just sort of a detriment. And I just felt like, let's just make sure that we have everything 100% before we go on the market. And I think that goes back to being a professional as well. It wasn't about me just, let's get another listing out there so I have another statistic in my belt. It's about, let's make sure that we're doing this the right way, the proper way. We have all of our ducks lined up in a row, like make way for little ducklings in Boston Common. So now it's all in place and everything is good, but then the weather. So I was like, let's just wait until next week.
Yeah. I think that's a great idea. Just making sure that you have everything in order to sell.
Yeah. So, and that's one of the things when it comes to estate properties too, is just some things that you want to make sure. And I have another business in my mind, by the way, that I mentioned to Mark the other day. And I was like, this might be a good idea to have as a business one day. But, when you're taking over somebody else's bills, I mean, I'll be honest. I don't know that Casey and Mackenzie, I mean, you and Mary would probably have an easier time than Casey and Mackenzie to just hop in and take over our bills for us. Right?
Oh, yeah.
Like, clearly you can do the office. That's you do that, right? But when it comes to, like, the household, like, it's, some, and then the bank just made some adjustments and changes. So things.
I know all about your mortgage payment.
Yeah. So like the mortgage payment, I mean, it was automatic. It was every month, but then the bank made some adjustments in their website and their
online
thing.
systems. Yeah.
And our mortgage wasn't paid. So we're like,
Yeah.
what do you mean? Like,
Yeah.
it came out of our bank account. Like, when we looked on our account, it looked like, but it wasn't hitting the other. So anyways, it was crazy. But what my point is jumping in to do somebody else's bills is not always easy. So if you are doing an estate, this is why it's really important. And this is why, for me, I was like, I have to put together this book. If I die, here's all the answers. And for Mark. And Mark is going to have to fill in the voids of things I don't know. Like, I couldn't hop in and just take care of McNamara Plumbing. Like,
yeah. Well, I think that's also it's an important thing, not an appointment. Oh gosh,
but I should make an appointment.
You should make an appointment. It's important because I think we live in a time where everyone's sort of, when it comes to their finances, they're sort of in charge of their own, or they have, partners that do that with each other. But there was a time where the sole responsibility was for one person in the relationship, and the other person didn't know anything. And I'm saying that by, they paid all the bills, the other person didn't know, anything, and maybe the person who was responsible for those things had passed. So what happens with the...
Let me stop right there for 1 second and you keep that thought going. But hence, that's why Alyssa McNamara Reed and
that's where I was getting at.
Came up with Financially Secure Women, because we had so many people, in both of our businesses, that were in that exact situation. It's like, my husband took care of all the bills. I don't even know how to write a check.
Yeah. So, we talk about the big things, death, divorce,
disability.
And
diapers is another good reason why people move.
Yeah.
Need a bigger house. Oh,
I thought you meant diapers for adults.
No.
Like,
well, it depends.
Depends.
Yeah. But, so this is sort of funny. And we were talking in the office yesterday. So, why do people, need to sell their current house? And one of them came up because they need a bigger house. And I was like, oh, well, I have another bold prediction after the snowstorm and everybody is stuck in the house, with all the, 24 potential inches of snow here on the South Shore, that we're going to have a baby boom in 9 months.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah, we were going to do a prediction. There will be none on this side of the table. How about yours?
Yeah, no.
No babies in this room.
No babies in this room. But, we're just going to have to decide what happens in 9 months. Somebody put that in their calendar. Let's see if Sharon's bold prediction was right. Are we going to have more babies in 9 months? After this weekend?
So what? It would be...
I mean, you can only play so much
October,
Scrabble.
November, like October, November-ish.
Yeah. You can only play so much babies, Scrabble, right?
We'll see how many babies.
Might be some Halloween babies.
Yeah. Okay, that's what we'll remember. There you go. So with vacant properties, I just want to hit upon that again is, will the property be vacant during the listing? Is the correct insurance in place for vacancy? Are the utilities maintained? Is the heat on when appropriate? Are the systems protected? That's one of the things I reached out to, the person who's going to be selling it, the daughter. And I was just like, hey, it's going to be bitterly cold. Like, do you feel as if the heat's at the right range? Should we put that up a little bit just to make sure? Who's going to be maintaining, the shoveling and all of that? That we just want to make sure when you do have, vacant properties, you want to make sure that there's no freeze ups and everything. We can continue on with this next week too, because there are really a lot of other
things to talk about.
Yeah, there's so many things to talk about, especially like here, I'll just read the other ones on the agenda. Oh, no, I won't.
No, you won't.
So, open houses.
No, she won't. No.
Yep. Open houses are canceled for Sunday. So, there will be no open houses on Sunday, but today,
we have Cushing Trails in Hanson from 10 to 12 and Cochise Estates in West Bridgewater from 10 to 2. Kristen Howlett has a listing 211 Cherry Street in Bridgewater. She will be there from 2:30 to 4 today. That is on the market for $7.99. And Faith Birmingham has 168 Spring Street in Hanson. She will be there today from 12:30 to 2. That is on the market for $564.
Yes, and Ginny will be here in the office doing coffee and conversations, 19 Mattakesett Street, Pembroke. We're right in Pembroke Center across from CVS and where the new Big Y is going to be located. So come see Ginny and come talk some real estate. And you just listen to Talk Real Estate Roundtable.
Yeah. Stay safe, everyone.
Stay safe. Go Pats. Bye, Tim.
Bye. Go Pats.
I've always wanted to have a neighbor just like you. I've always wanted to live in a neighborhood.